Good morning, guys. So this is our last idea in reviewing algebra or algebraic expressions, and today we'll just talk about simplifying algebraic expressions. So simplifying simply means simplifying. Just like you can be asked to simplify a fraction like this, and then simplify reduce by 2 to get 2, and reduce by 2 to get 1, reduce by 2 to get 2. You simplified that fraction correctly. That's the same idea with simplifying algebraic fractions. So I'm going to try to do one number from each of these levels just so you can see what I'm talking about. So from level 1, there's one number that's 4a out of 12b. If I want to simplify that, simply I can see that 4 and 12 can both be reduced. A and B cannot be reduced, so they'll stay as they are. So 4 divided by 4 is once, so I'll have A at the top. 12 divided by 4 is 3 times, so it's A out of 3B. Still on level 1, I think this is the harder one, should be number 10, or let me try 11. Number 11, still level 1. 8u squared minus 12u cubed v, all divided by 20u cubed. Now, when you see this, you might freak out. You might say, my goodness, what's going on? I don't know how to do this. But don't let this scare you at all. This is just as easy as the previous one. I'll show you. Step 1, figure out the common terms. So I have 8 here. I have 12. 8 and 12, what's common? 4 is common. So I pull out 4. And then I also have u squared and u to the third power. What's common? U squared is common. So if I pull those two outside, I'll be left with inside. Since I pulled out a 4 from here, I'll be left with a 2. Since I pulled out a u squared from here, I'm left with nothing there, so just a 1. Then since I pulled out a 4 from 12, I'm left with 3. Since I pulled out u squared from this, I'm left with just u. And since I didn't take out any v, the v stays. All this is divided by 20u to the power 3. At this stage, things can cancel out. I can cross by 4 once, by 4 5 times. U squared with this, I'll remain with just 1u. So my answer would be 2 into, my answer would be 2 minus 3uv all over 5u. That's a simplified fraction. So that's level 1. I'll also do one from level 2. I'll do one from 7 to 12. So randomly picking, selecting the easiest one. I am going to do 10, yeah. From 10 to 12, not 11 to 12. 6g squared out of 7h divided by 5g out of 5h squared. Now, quickly I can see 5 and 5, so those will cancel out. Since this is division, I know I can change that fraction using KFC. If you guys remember that, keep, flip, change. Or you can just do the reciprocal since that's division. I can see 1g here cancels with 1g there. 1h here cancels with 1h there. And then I'm left with 6gh all divided by 7. Simple as that. Level 3, I'll also do one from there. Which one will I pick from level 3? I'm gonna pick the last one. No, I'll pick number 6 because it looks friendly. 4 divided by m plus 7 divided by n. This one, if I want to simplify it, there are two fractions that I'm adding. How do you add fractions? Same way you add these kind of fractions is the same way you add any kind of fraction, is you find the LCM. The LCM of m and n is m times n. Now, m times n, this m times n, that product, if I divide that product by m, I'm going to get n. mn divided by m, I get n. That n times 4, I'll get 4n. Same thing here, mn divided by n, I get m. m times 7, 7m. So I have simplified that fraction because I cannot simplify it any further at this stage. Now, if you have questions, please just tell me at what minute of this video you have questions, and then I can answer you. Some of you see this and then you want to do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Only do that if you had 4m out of mn, you would be able to do that. Or yeah, actually that's the only case. So just don't do that, people. Don't do that. That would be wrong. Okay, level 4. Level 4 gets more interesting, more cool. So on level 4, I will do number, what's that? 8, probably 8. M plus 2 out of m squared plus 5m plus 6. Now, fortunately, you guys have just learned how to factorize quadratic expressions of all sorts of kinds. So in the denominator, I have a quadratic expression, and I hope you agree with me that when I factorize it, I'll get m plus 2 into m plus 3. You guys can, take a second to figure out if I'm right. But when you factorize it, you're going to get these two products. And then, since I can see that I have m plus 2 in the numerator and at the same time m plus 2 in the denominator, I can cross them out. And I'll be left with 1 out of m plus 3. Final answer. How do you say final answer in Spanish? That's what I want to know. And finally, level 5, which gets even much more fun. I will do the last question. Last question says, level 5, if 2 out of x is equal to 3 plus y out of 5 minus 4 out of x, find the value of x. What? How am I supposed to find x? So that right there is the reaction that you should not have. If it's asking me to find x, it's simply telling me to make x the subject. So since I see 2 out of x this side, the other thing that has x is right here, and I want to isolate x. I'm going to want both these x's to be on the same side. So I'm going to bring this guy over that way. And when I bring that whole fraction over that way, this sign will change to a positive. So I'll have 2 out of x plus 4 out of x equals 3 plus y out of 5. This is just a normal fraction. It's just like a half plus a quarter. So I don't need to be scared of the x. It's actually not like a half and a quarter, because in this case the LCM, the denominator, is the same. Denominator. If I was adding 2 out of 3 plus 1 out of 3, since the denominator is the same, my answer would just be 3 out of 3, right? So since I'm also adding this with the same denominator, my answer would just be 6 out of x equals 3 plus y out of 5. Now remember, I want x to be on its own, and I want that x to be on top of the fraction. This x, I want it to be on top of this fraction. There's something super easy I can do at this stage, which is take a reciprocal of both sides. If I take the reciprocal of this side, it will be x out of 6. If I take the reciprocal of this side, it will be 5 out of 3 plus y. I know you're wondering, what if I cross multiply and etc? That also works, but it's going to take you like 5 more minutes at least. So if you want to do that at this stage, if you want to cross multiply and then eventually divide and then leave x on its own, that also works. But I'm just doing the reciprocal of both sides. If I do the reciprocal of this side, as long as I do the same thing to this side, the meaning of the equation has not changed. Now since I want x to remain on its own, I need to remove the 6. How do I do that? I multiply by 6 both sides, so that this 6 dies with that 6. Then I'm left with just the answer, which is x is equal to 30 out of 3 plus y. There you go. Have fun doing those questions on that website. Bye.